In our quest for authenticity, we sometimes face a massive fork in the road, one that can make or break our future. And that was the case for our next speaker, my friend Hector Garcia, president of MBN Creative. And from the heart of Southern California, Hector has risen as a bright light in the brand and print industry, especially for food and beverage. His journey from a challenging upbringing in Los Angeles to founding an award-winning agency is a testament to his resilience and innovation. Beyond his professional success, Hector's dedication to community advocacy underscores his commitment to making a difference. Today, Hector will share a defining moment of his life, a crossroad that tested his values and determination. Please join me in welcoming Hector Garcia.
You look amazing. What an amazing story, Alexandra. Just incredible. So I want to thank everybody that joined. I know some of my peeps are out there, and I want to say good afternoon and good evening to everybody joined across the states. And I want to ask everybody if they've ever been. I'm going to kind of dial this down a little bit because this is an intimate story that's never been told to the public, to an audience. I've only shared this with my closest, family, and so I want to ask if you've ever been around the wrong person in the wrong place at the exact right time. And I want you to think about that and sit with that for a minute. Have you ever been around the wrong person at the wrong place at the right time? And so for me, I'm gonna go back to when I was 3 years old. I was a little boy, and I remember witnessing my brother. He was only 12, my only brother, my older brother. He got abused so bad. He got just, it was incredible. I was 3. I witnessed this. I witnessed him being, it was just overwhelming, but I was 3. It was a terrible thing. It was at the hands of my father, who I loved at 3. I want to take you back to when I was 11 years old. I walked out the kitchen door of my house. It was about 11 o'clock at night. It was cold. It was dark. I got on my knees and I prayed to God that he would take my mom. Like, take my mom. It's time. I can't take her anymore. Please, just take her. I prayed. When I was 19, I thought everything was okay. I kind of got through life, got through the rough household. I was able to, get a job that I loved doing. I was always into art. That was kind of my escape. That was my why. Like I was always into drawing and painting, won all the accolades in high school, got a job right out of high school. And I had so many friends in the neighborhood, had a nice car, nice job, like everything was going just right. Had me a girl. And all of a sudden, my brother gets out of prison. He was doing a 7-year stint for manslaughter. As the story goes, he was down the street one night. Guy from another neighborhood was there. A fight ensued. My brother broke a bottle on a curb and he stuck it in his neck over a bag of weed. That was my reality. That was what happened. He's fresh out of doing 7 years. He comes home. He is meaner and more dominant than I've ever seen him. He's running the streets. And when I say running the streets, he's running everybody that's on the streets in the neighborhood. He's making things happen. He's pushing buttons. And one night, I'm getting myself ready. I'm ironing my clothes. I'm getting ready to go hang out with my buddies. There's a house party down the street, and my brother walks in. He goes, "Hey, bro." He goes, "I might need you to come hang out with me tonight." And I was like, "Well, I got something to do." He goes, "No, you don't understand. Something might go down. I need you to go hang with me." And I go, I'm going to be at this party. So I go to the party. My buddies pick me up. We go to the party down the street. We're having a good time. And guess who shows up? My brother. He says, "Let's go now." And I go. What I've always done. My big brother. He got hurt people. He hurt me when I was young. I learned that when he said, "Let's go," I don't question it. Something bad's going to happen. I ended up going with the wrong person to the wrong place at the right time. Now, this was something out of a De Niro movie. Like, this was a scene. It was foggy. It was cold. There was all these gangsters around. You could see the street lamps. There was so much testosterone. You could feel it. There was drugs. There was alcohol. A fight broke out. And then another fight broke out, and another fight, and people were jumping in, and things were a lot of violence going on. And in the midst of that, a gun went off. It went off right here, right next to my ear. Like, it just went off, and time stopped for me. At that moment, the ring in my ear was so loud, I couldn't hear anything here except this ring. I could feel the gunpowder, the warmth of it all over my ear and my face. It was literally here. I saw someone 20 yards out grab their abdomen and fall to the ground. All of a sudden, everything sped up. My brother ordered somebody to take me and him to somewhere, and everyone scattered. I end up at this house. It's like 2 in the morning. And my brother says, "Hey, I'm bouncing. I'm going out of state. I'm going to be on the run. I'm not going to jail again. I'm not going to prison again." He goes, you need to go home. You take him home. And he gave me the rundown. He says, he goes, "When you get home," he goes, "the cops will probably be at the house, and you're going to jail, bro. And here's what you do." And he says, when they arrest you," he goes, "you're not saying anything, first of all. You weren't there. Here's your alibi. And that's that. So when you go to the county, he's like, don't talk to the black dudes. Don't talk to the white dudes. You can talk to the Chicanos, and you'll be all right." And I'm just like, man, I have never ever been in trouble before. Like I said, I had a good job doing what I love to do. I was a designer, and 2 years in, and you know, so for this to happen, my head's spinning. I'm like, what is going on? So this gangster drops me off at my house. My mom and dad, oh, the look on their face, they were so worried. They said, "Did you do anything?" I said, "No, I did nothing. I was there, but I did nothing." They go, "Well, the police want to talk to you." I'm like, "All right." So I go to the police station, and my parents are waiting in the lobby. And it started out as good cop. And back then, they had this giant recorder, and they said, "Hey, we're Sergeant so and so," and they pressed this big button. we're going to we want to know what happened, you know? We know you were there, there's all these people we already interviewed, and you know, tell us what happened. I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. And I had just turned 19. I was probably 5'5", 125 pounds, soaking wet. This detective was being nice to me. As soon as I said, you know, I don't know what's going on. I wasn't there. Slams that thing shut. Next thing you know, spit is in my face. I am just covered. I'm being yelled at. But I ain't gonna snitch. You don't snitch when you're from the hood. You just don't. Because if you do, you guys know what happens. Plus, I wouldn't do that to my brother. It wasn't in my DNA. So they book me, and they say, "All right, tough guy. You weren't there, huh? Okay. Well, we're gonna book you on murder one. You can go and give your mom a call." I go, "She's not in the lab." No, we sent her home a couple hours ago. Like, when I had to make that called, and my mom picks up the phone and she says, "Is it okay to come pick you up, mijo?" And my heart just dropped because I was like, "No, Ma, they booked me on murder one." Her heart sank, my heart sank. Didn't know, it was just, I didn't know what was going on. I get booked, I get sent to the local jail, then I get sent to the county jail. And as soon as I walk in there, they strip you naked, they hose you down, they throw powder on you. You're in front of a bunch of men. I'm probably the littlest, youngest dude there, and these big, massive guys like, "What are you in here for?" And I'm like, "Murder one." They're like, "That's 25 to life, bro." And I'm just like, I'm just, everything changed for me. I'm like, I don't know what's going on. Thinking back, what did my brother say about this place? All right, hang out with the Chicanos. All right, cool. You know, they'll be all right. After I'm there for, I don't know, a day or so, we're shackled. We get into this part of the jail where there's cells, and I'm shackled with like 20 other men, and these security guards are giants. They're big, intimidating figures. And as we're going from one room to another, I look to my right, and there's I glance, and happens to be a Chicano, and he, in front of the cops, he grabs the bars and he goes, "Who the fuck are you looking at?" He's like, "I'll fucking kill you." And I'm just like, whoa, my head is like, I don't know what to do. I get put in this one room for my last day and a half at the county jail. And when the doors open up, I walk in, there's like 400 beds in there, almost all filled. And I hear my name, Hector. And I'm like, who the hell would know me here? And kind of way in the back, there's these 4 or 5 guys, and they're hanging, come here, homie. And I'm like, who is that? And they say, hey, man. And then I recognize, I'm like, oh, that's some guy from the neighborhood. That's his older brother. And he's like, hey, man, come over here. What are you doing here? I told him, I'm like, hey, man. He goes, do you need anything? He goes, can I get you a bed? He goes, we're going to get you a bed right here. Doesn't have a mattress yet, but you know, we'll take care of that. So I go, man, I need a shower. He goes, all right, I got you, man. Here's a towel. Here's some slippers. I went and took my shower. I came back. You know, he gave me a candy bar. It was like, okay. I'm like, all right. I could, you know, I feel okay. But in that day and a half, everything was jumping off. Mexican, blacks were just like at each other. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. Like there was high tension. Um, and so a day and a half goes by, and the guard calls me, and he calls my name, and I start walking to the booth. And just as I'm making my way, this black dude makes a beeline for, I could see him. He's just walking fast. And he comes at me, and he bumps me. And he goes, "You're lucky, motherfucker. I was getting ready to stick you." I'm like, holy shit, this is nuts. Like, whew, I'm right here by the cop. He's gonna let me out. So I go there and he goes, "Put your wristband in the window." So I do, and he goes, "Murder one?" He goes, "You're gonna have to go back in there." And I'm just like, no, I can't do that. I mean, I can't show fear, I can't show weakness, but in my head, I'm like, I'm a dead man. And he makes some phone calls. He confirms that, yeah, you're getting out. So they let me out. They stole my clothes in there, so I'm wearing a paper shirt and paper pants. And as I'm exiting, I see my mom and dad, and they're in the car. And it's nighttime, and I'm just like, ah, everything's gonna go back to normal. Like, this is okay. So familiar faces. I'm like, I didn't do anything. This is all good. Get in the car. My dad goes, lay down in the back seat. My mom's crying. She goes, "Hector," she says, "your clothes are in the trunk. We're going up north." I'm like, "Why?" She says, "The neighbors, the person that your brother killed has 4 brothers. And they are all, the word on the street is, if they can't catch your brother, they're going to kill you. And if you love your son, get him out of here." That nighttime drive seemed like the longest on earth. I mean, I don't even think we spoke much, and I was like so depressed. Like I said, I went into the county jail, $125. I came out at $120. I was depressed. I was like, how did I get myself in this situation? When I get out, I'm going to save 10 grand because I need to get a lawyer so that this never happens. So I never have to spend another day in there. I mean, I escaped by the skin of my teeth. It was so narrow. So many things happened. On that drive up north, we end up at my uncle's house, and they have a little cot there for me with a blanket. I put my clothes in there. My mom and dad leave right away. I probably had to go to work the next day, and I get wakened like at 4 in the morning. "Get up. You're going to work." Okay. I get my stuff and boom, I'm off in the truck, and there's a few of us, a couple of my cousins and me get dropped off at this field. And the next thing you know, I am on a tomato picking machine at the break of dawn till till the end of the day. That's like 12 hours of dirt flying in your face. All this stuff just happened. I'm trying to process stuff. I'm getting yelled at on this tomato machine because I don't know the drill. So I just got to suck it up and do it. And I do that for a few weeks. And that was an incredible change in my life. That was that fork you're talking about, Anita, that everything changed for me. It took me several months of trying to find work that I loved in Northern California. It wasn't happening for me. So little by little, I made my way back to Southern California. And what I had to do to get my first apartment was work a full-time job. Got a design job, full-time, 8 to 5. I worked for an aerospace company, a subcontractor, 4 hours every night from 8 to midnight. Every Saturday and Sunday, I was airbrushing t-shirts at the mall just so that I could have an apartment with a lawn chair as furniture, just to kind of get my life back together again. And the journey has been a long one. I felt like I lost so much of my life. I lost my car, my girl, my friends. I didn't know who I could trust or not trust. There's a couple of guys like, dude, don't come around here. You can't come around. Your people are looking for you. I mean, that happened. It took some years. I got back. I had to work so hard, and I had to reinvent myself. I had to create another person that I thought would be attractive to an employer. And I worked hard, but after working at different agencies, and I got into technology, I got into the Mac early. I started doing these things and kind of rose through the ranks and started managing a lot of people. I wasn't my authentic self. Like I just wasn't. And 25 years ago, I quit a well-paying job with security, and I had a mortgage payment, two small children, a wife staying at home, a couple of cars, a couple of car payments. And I made the decision over a weekend to start my own business. And because I was hustling for so many years, weekends and evenings, it wasn't a tremendous risk. I wasn't just risking everything for that, but it paid off. I've had to reinvent myself. I've had to take that little kid that was broken, the little kid that was hyper aware, the little kid that was hyper vigilant, and recreate myself. I had to be better. I knew I could be better. I knew if I wanted to live a better life, I had to be a better person. I was fortunate to meet my wife, beautiful woman. We've raised two children, and that's one of the biggest things that the biggest most paramount things that ever happened to me, because she was just an amazing person, and she accepted me as I was, exactly where I was, and yeah, I owe her a ton. Um, I have changed who I am. I am called Hector the Connector. I did not name myself that. There's other people have named me that. I just started connecting with people. I started loving on people. I started changing who I was. I got rid of that old person that I was. There's still a little bit of that in me, and I'm still a work in progress. I have gone to therapy. I've gone to counseling. I have put the work in. I have I listened to some incredible podcasts, and I educate myself, and I'm very proud of what, from where I came to where I'm at now. It's been leaps and bounds, and I'm truly blessed. Like, I've got a wonderful family. I live in a wonderful neighborhood, in a nice home. I've got an amazing staff. I do work for some celebrities like Warren G. I do some work with Fortune 100 clients, and I just I like Alexander says, I treat everybody the same, man. I have had to do some crazy stuff. I've had obstacles, and there's still going to be more obstacles, but I treat everybody the same, whether it's somebody at the grocery store, whether it's somebody who sold the largest brand in US history, he lives on the top of the hill in Beverly Hills. That dude and it's all about hugs and handshakes, and I treat him exactly the same. So that's that's my journey, and I uh, I practice gratitude every morning. I journal. I meditate. Um, I just I like to say that I bring the weather wherever I go. Like for my office, like when I journal, a journal entry, pretty much every time I journal, one piece is um, that I'm bringing the weather, and the weather's 75 degrees with a couple little puffy clouds, a slight ocean breeze. And that's how I bring it, because I want my people to feel that. I feel it. If I can feel it, they can feel it. So that's that's pretty much it. And I really appreciate this time with you guys.
And when he says he brings the weather with him, he's not lying. He really does. It's a beautiful thing. So
Thank you
thank
so
you.
much. Thank you. There's a QR code. Leave it up for a second, and then I'll go ahead and take it down. But thank you so much, Anita, and thank everybody for being here. Appreciate you guys.